Can you hear me? Lana, can you hear me? Bro, can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. We'll just let's see if Dylan would join. If not, we'll just go live. And the lineup isn't out yet, right?
No, not that I know of. No,
okay.
There's about
doing,
like 3 minutes left. I'm good. How are you?
I can't complain, bro. Yeah, I can't complain.
Cool. Let me just check.
I cannot complain. I was telling you, I mean, you could, if you want to use my account, no problem.
No, the thing is, I wanted to like have this show stream on mine too. On my channel too. Yeah.
I checked. Yeah, it's not possible.
It's not possible. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's okay.
That would have been lovely.
Yeah, I think so too. I haven't been posting lately that much, so yeah, I need to get back into posting.
Yeah. How's work, man?
Oh, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's not never easy. Bills don't pay themselves.
Exactly. It's super stressful, but yeah, getting there slowly. Yeah. How about you on your side?
I work from home.
Okay.
And mostly I teach. I'm actually a web programmer, so.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So for the teaching, since I moved from Pennsylvania to Las Vegas, it's been all online because I can't be traveling from here to Pennsylvania to go and teach. So
yeah.
So how's my lighting?
I can't see you actually.
Okay. I think we should just go online. People will probably be hearing us now.
Okay, cool.
Okay, 1 second.
The team's out, I think.
Is it?
Lineup. Yes. Chelsea, Mendy, Christensen, Thiago, Silva, Rudiger, James, Kante, Jorginho, Chilwell, Ziyech, Havertz, and Cho.
Okay, let's just go live now.
All right, sure.
Oh, my Ankit says we can hear you guys. I suspect that you guys can be hearing us. Yeah.
Hilarious. Okay.
Yeah, so let's make some corrections here. Big up everybody in the chat. Greetings to you all. I hope everybody is doing well.
Hello.
And Ankit, thank you very much for informing us that you can hear us. We suspect that you guys can hear us. So what change, what area do we have? We have Ziyech, right? And not Cho.
Yeah, we have both Cho and Ziyech.
Oh, Cho and Ziyech.
Yeah, Mount.
No Mount.
Yeah. It looks like he's not even on the bench.
What happened? Is it really injury crisis? And here, every other place in the lineup here is correct, right?
Cezar. Yeah. So Christensen, Mendy, Silva, Rudiger, James, Kante, Jorginho, Chilwell, Ziyech, Havertz, and Cho. And Mount is absent.
So it is Jorginho, Kante, not RLC.
Yeah. That's crazy. It's weird.
It is really crazy.
Wow. Oh, it should be an interesting game, especially at Newcastle with the takeover and everything. It should be fun.
Yeah. So, what do you think? Do you think something happened? Why do we have this line of
Yeah, I think he's probably injured or he caught some, little niggle or something right before. I think. Yeah. I mean, that's what I
Wow.
would guess. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is really crazy. So at the back, Thiago Silva leads the line, Christensen to the right, Rudiger to the left, James, Chile. I mean, attacking wise, I'm fine. Even defensive wise, I'm fine. But the 2 8s, I'm not really sure what happened there. That's what I don't understand.
Kovacic. Oh yeah, Kovacic also is missing.
Yeah, before time we knew Kovacic was injured.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, he had a hamstring, they say. So I'm not sure. Yeah, but I was expecting at least Mount to be there and Cho also to be there. We have who do we have? Let me be sure I'm correct here.
So we have Kai Havertz, Hakim Ziyech, and
okay, Cho and Ziyech. Okay.
Yeah, Cho and Ziyech and Havertz make the three up front. And the four in the middle is Jorginho, Ngolo Kante, Ben Chilwell, and Reece James.
Wow. Are you confident with this lineup?
I don't know. I think up front we might, because Havertz hasn't been at his best. Ziyech obviously has been poor. So Cho, he did well. He did well the last time around. So yeah, I don't know. I don't see where the goals are coming from. Probably a defender is going to score today. Yeah, but just looking at this lineup, I'm not confident that we have enough firepower.
Wow, yeah, that's surprising to me, and that's why I always tell people, good luck to you correctly predicting Tuchel's lineup. Okay, Lionel, let's just start from the back three. We expected Mendy to start between the sticks, and he's there, so no need to even talk about that. The back three, I was looking forward to seeing Chalobah start on the right at the right center back, but he's not there. What do you think about that?
No, I mean, Rudiger, Silva, and Christensen. You can make an argument that they're our best defensive lineup. Yes, Chalobah is amazing, but I just think looking at these three, like you always feel like it's solid. That back line will be solid. The agility of Christensen, the experience of Silva, and like that roughness on of Rudiger is what's needed, and it complements each other. So yeah, I think that back line works. I think it works. Yes, we would love to see Chalobah in there, but
now here's my argument about that back three, Lionel.
Yeah,
we have just two of them, Thiago Silva, Andreas Christensen, are the only two that you could say when they lead the back line, you'd be comfortable with the lineup. But right now we have two of them on the bench and we already have injury issues. What if something happens to any of them and the games right now are coming thick and fast?
Yeah.
So to me, I'd argue it's just more like, putting the whole eggs in a single basket. And that's a risk given. See how many injuries we're not even sure what happened to Mount. We were just we were concerned about Kovacic, who they say had a hamstring, and that would take almost a month for him to recover. Now, so why have the two of them on the pitch at the same time?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Tuchel is just looking at trying to secure the 3 points for this match and then worrying about it in the next round, I guess. I don't know. I think, it's tough. I mean, if we are having an issue with injuries right now, it means that there are going to be a lot of changes for these matches. Thank goodness a lot of them are like smaller teams, but yeah, it's crazy. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure why, but we need to be strong against this Newcastle team, especially playing at home. With the takeover and the interim manager, we never know what we might get from them. I mean, even if we look at our matches with them last season, I think they
Yeah.
both ended 2-0, but it was like hard for 2-0. It wasn't just, us easing through the matches. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking Tuchel is playing the cards that he can play. I think he's doing what he's able to do with the circumstances. And yeah, that's just the best team that we can put out so far.
Wow. Okay, let's look at the lineup again. If you look at the if you look at the double pivot there, it looks as if he's being a bit cautious because we have Ruben Loftus-Cheek on the bench, and Kante and Jorginho both cannot drive with the ball as Ruben can. So why play both Jorginho and Kante? Because Jorginho, you could argue, is also defensively minded, even though he's not really good at it. Kante, you can say that's his specialty. So why have both of them on the pitch while we have Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who's proven to be, important to us in terms of playing teams that would defend deep, and definitely I see Newcastle doing that. So why leave Ruben on the bench again? That's 4 games in a row now. So.
Yeah, but I just think Ngolo Kante is I just feel like he's the better choice for this game because I think he gives Chelsea like first number one the attacking like sprint that they need, so like that extra pace that they need going forward. I think if he picks the ball off around like the center of the park and he just pushes forward, he's quick enough to put in Ziyech or Havertz to do what they have to, or even Cho. And I think defensively he also gives that he can track back, and maybe Tuchel doesn't see those those attributes as much in Ruben. I think attacking wise he is amazing, but maybe defensively, because we're gonna need to defend a lot, and I like looking at this team, it looks like we're gonna need to defend a lot during this game. And I just think the Jorginho and Kante, I think Jorginho is going to sit very deep in this game. I don't think he's going to go forward as much, and it just gives more space for Kante, Ben Chilwell, and James to kind of just get into almost the center of the park. Because if we look at like previous matches, like Ben Chilwell, like the last goal that he scored against was it Brentford? He was literally like in the center of the field. So. Yeah, it just looks like that's kind of how Tuchel wants to play this, and we're going to need to do that because Newcastle are going to sit deep. They're going to try and hit us on the counter-attack, and we need more pace in that center of the park just to maybe break those balls down or stop them from, getting to where it's dangerous for us.
Now, I understand your explanation there, but the question is, okay, looking at that, we have Jorginho and Kante, both of whom we've established are defensively minded. None of them are really creators. They're able to create chances, but that's not what their specialty, or forte, if you like. So now we have Cho. Cho can create chances. Ziyech can create chances, but he's not been in great form of late. Cho also, he hasn't created that much, although maybe a bit in the game against what's it called again, Norwich City. He created some chance. I think one chance for what's his name, Mount, who missed it. So where are the goal? Who on the pitch right now are going to create the chances there, Lionel?
It's a tough one, but I think we're in this match. We're going to look at the wing backs a lot. I think there might be a bit more crosses coming in from Chile and James for Havertz to head. I mean, he's shown that he does well with these headers. I think that's the best type of creativeness that we can like expect out of this game. I think Jorginho also might be playing long balls. We're looking at Ziyech also cutting on the outside and crossing the ball deep into Chile. Yeah, it's just I mean it's a tough one, but that's the team we got. That's the create. They're gonna have to create. I mean, Jorginho and Kante are gonna have to do something, and I think there is space for Ruben Loftus-Cheek to come on at some point. Maybe when he feels like that's missing, or like the creativity is missing, maybe he might come on. But yeah, for now, I think to start off the game, just to settle everything, make sure that Newcastle don't outrun us and outpace us. I think this team is the best that we can do for now.
Wow. I'm still not sure what happened here. Okay, if we look at the lineup again, Lionel, we have here Cho and Ziyech, both of which you could argue are not great at pressing. So how are we gonna be able to press Newcastle? Though you could argue they don't usually try to play out from the back.
Yeah.
But still, when they have the ball there, we have to press them to try to force them into making mistakes. So there's literally nobody in that front area that's good at pressing there. How are we, gonna do that in this game? Because pressing is pivotal, high press is pivotal to the way we play. So how do you think we're gonna take care of that, Lionel?
I think it might be. But I think in a game like this, it's we are expecting to have most of the ball. So I think the emphasis on pressing is maybe not as much, but I definitely think that we're gonna have a lot of possession, and it's about how our intricacies in getting a chance on goal. Pressing wise, I mean Ziyech does a decent amount of pressing. Havertz, if needs be, is gonna have to do that. Cho included. So I think at the end of the day, like if the instruction is to press, I mean, we look at Ziyech, we look at Cho. This is their opportunity to kind of show Thomas Tuchel that we can do this, and we are the right players. Even when everyone else comes back, we should still be in the team. So they're going to do whatever they can. They're going to push as much as they can. They're going to do whatever they need to do to impress Thomas Tuchel during this game. And it's games like this that they need to come to the forefront. So if there's not enough pressing, then we know that we have a problem with these three up front. But I think they might be a different type of gameplay when it comes to this game. I think with the injuries and with the team that we have out there, I don't think we're going to press as much as we usually do against teams like this. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, for me, I always think no matter what team you put out, the first 10 minutes of a game are very important. It's just about seeing how we deal with that the first 10 minutes, how the defense deals. I mean, the defense I'm not worried about. Like I said earlier, it's up front. I don't know if there's enough creativity in those three, but it's just about seeing what happens in that first 10 minutes. I think that's the most important, and we'll just have to see how it works, man.
I'm really concerned. We're missing Kovacic, we're missing Mason Mount. I think practically that's a big problem here. But that's, by the way, okay, let's talk about Kai Havertz. The last time he played in that position, how do you think he did? And do you think, given the setup right now, that it will work?
See, the thing is, I've been listening to a lot of, more, I don't know what the word is, maybe more experienced Chelsea presenters or whatever about this whole Kai Havertz and where his best position is, or is he a false nine, or is he like, I don't really see him as that's the best position for him. I think that I think last season it was makeshift. This season, especially with Lukaku being out, Werner being out, it's kind of just like, oh well, we don't have a choice. You're gonna play there. I think importantly, he needs to be just behind the striker. I think that's where he plays his best, is like just behind number 9. But again, we don't have a choice. It's one of those things where this team has a hard time creating chances for our number 9s, and I think every time Havertz plays in that position, he also struggles, like we've seen Lukaku in the recent games, like we've seen with Timo Werner. There's a lack of chance creations from that midfield. They're slow to pick up the runs. They're not really looking for those runs, and it's hard for any number 9. I don't care who you bring on. If he doesn't have those opportunities, he's not going to be able to score. So going back to Havertz, I just think that it's unfortunate for him that he's in this situation and this is how he needs to prove himself. But at the end of the day, he has to prove himself. I think he did okay against Norwich. I think he did okay in midweek. I wasn't too the way he was playing wasn't too out of the norm. There wasn't anything extraordinary, but it's okay for now. I don't think he should be a number 9 constantly, but it works. It works sometimes. We've won.
Yeah, because he's very good at creating chances for his teammates. But against Norwich, even though he didn't score, he played well, but not that you could say that wasn't one of his best games. So, Lionel, looking at the whole setup right now, if you have it on your screen, on your own screen, usually in the absence of Mason Mount, I think the team finds it difficult to facilitate link-up plays. How do you think that's going to work out this time in his absence?
Yeah,
Kovacic also. But what comes to Kovacic is important to the team. But in the absence of Mason Mount, how do you think the link-up plays are going to happen?
Yeah, I think I would expect Havertz to drop a bit deeper, just to kind of link up the play. I think also it's time for Ziyech to step up. I think this is a perfect opportunity for him to kind of make sure that he's the main person here, linking up the play. I don't expect that from Cho. I think Cho's style of play is very different. I think also looking at Jorginho and Ngolo Kante, I think Ngolo Kante is the important part for this team today. If he has, one of those games where he's on the front foot, he's picking the balls off like defensive midfields or defenders and pushing forward, I think, he will be able to do that. I mean, we do underestimate N'Golo Kante's creation of chances. I think a lot of the time when he does create a chance, it's not finished, so we don't really see like, N'Golo Kante is this like creating machine. But I think he does enough, and I think that whenever he's called upon, he does exactly what he needs to do. So yes, I'm as worried as you are, trust me, but I think I have faith. I think that the boys can definitely pull this off. I think Newcastle are not at the best place right now. They're still fighting for relegation. I just don't see it. I really don't see it. I think defensively will be too strong for them, and it's just about up front. I think the worst case, hopefully, fingers crossed, the worst case out of this game is a draw.
Yeah, great point right there, and thank you for highlighting the stereotype on N'Golo Kante's. He's just known as a defensive midfielder. People often seem to overlook his ability to create chances or score goals, because the further he plays closer to the final third, he can do some damage to the opponent. But let's come back now to the absence of Kovacic and also the absence of Mason Mount. Now, Kovacic is the guy, when we play opponents that defend deep, he's able to dribble his way out of tight spaces, make some runs with the ball, even when opponents, when they press him aggressive, and when you have 2, 3, 4 opponents on him, Kovacic is still able to, progress the ball for the team. Now, how what are we going to do in his absence? Because I don't see anybody there who's able to do that. Yeah. Cho is a very direct player. We know that. But when you press him aggressively, he'd turn around and pass the ball, most especially when you have 2, 3, 4 players on him. He only operates better when he has space. And that's the same thing with Ziyech. He's a fine player, don't get me wrong. And he can create chances to he can orchestrate great passes. You and I did his episode on the Chelsea player profile. We talked about his ability to split defenses open. Who is going to help us progress the ball if Newcastle defend deep or if they press us aggressively? Because that's one of the most used strategy against us these days. So I see that as a problem. What are we going to do here looking at the 11 that Tuchel has picked?
The thing is, I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. But I think, and that's why, I agree with you with the whole Ruben Loftus-Cheek being on the bench. I think what he can do, what Kovacic does in an attacking sense. I just think defensively there might be something lacking there. I do. You know what we. When you look at Ziyech and his form, obviously you can say that it hasn't been great. But I'm expecting every single one of them to kind of pull off a performance today that's worthy of being in the first team. And that's what I'm hoping for. Again, like I said, we'll only know after like the first 10 minutes. But I think every single one of them understands what their role is. I think the great thing about Thomas Tuchel is he's able to explain to each individual what his job is, how he can do his job to the best of his ability, and that's what makes Tuchel stand out, and stand in the same conversation as Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola, because they're so like everything. Every player knows exactly what to do, when to do it. So yeah, it's tough, but I think there's enough in here to beat Newcastle. I think there's enough creativity to beat Newcastle. I think there's enough press if needs be. It's tough, but I'm still backing the boys on winning this. It's going to be tight. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be another 7-0 or whatever the case. But it's going to. I think we have enough here to win this game.
No, I mean, no argument. We have a deep enough squad to field, two different 11s that can do very well in the Premier League. But it's concerning when you start losing players to injuries, like we're doing in the past few days. It's like about 5 of them right now, and we're not even sure why Mount isn't here. But looking at this 11 right now, let's see things from the perspective of our opponents, Newcastle.
Yeah.
How we're gonna deal with Maxim? Do you think Reece James here and Christensen will be comfortable dealing with him? Because he's a very, very tricky customer.
He is a very tricky customer, and I think Christensen and James will take care of him. I think I'm not worried defensively at all. Like I think we're gonna even keep another clean sheet. It's just about if we score. I'm really not worried about any of the Newcastle players or what they can do. I watched some of their last game, and they under the interim coach, and they were very defensive. I mean, and this was who was it against? Oh, I forget who the game was against, but it was a lesser team than Chelsea. So I'm expecting them to be super defensive. I think Saint is gonna he's gonna try his tricks, but I think we're gonna overpower them. They were overpowered by Tottenham the last time. Yes, they did score early, but there's just the lack in quality of play, the lack in just top performing players in that team. I'm not worried defensively at all, not even a bit.
Yeah. Okay, let me tell you. I'm going to tell you where I'm working. That may be a bit controversial. It seemed to me that Reece James sometimes seem to make rash decisions, especially when dealing with tricky customers such as St. Maximo, because you could argue, I think once he was lucky, he got away with one that I do believe was a penalty, but he's done one that was a penalty. I think he seemed to like when such tricky customers St. Maximo goes beyond him, his next option that comes to his mind will be to like commit a foul, and I think he's done that like 3 times, but he got away with 2. Are you not concerned that if Maxima tries to go inside our box, that Reece won't cost a penalty? He won't commit a foul, and then that will lead to a penalty.
I mean, it's honestly, it's possible. I mean, Saint he's tricky enough to trip up anyone in that back three. Maybe Thiago Silva is a bit more experienced because he's faced a lot more players with flair, but I think even Rudiger could make a rush challenge. I mean, we saw Chilwell give away a penalty, by being beaten the way that he was. So I think anyone can definitely, give away, a penalty. And I don't think it's just that, Reece James, yes, he does make rush challenge, but we have to remember Reece James is a young player. I know he's played a lot of games for Chelsea, and we've seen him so much in that first team that we think he's, some 26-year-old player, but he's still very young, and yes, he's going to make mistakes, but that's what we have to do. Like, these are things that we have to, almost be comfortable with, knowing that it's going to happen. It's not going to be perfect all the time, and I think that's why instead of Chalobah, he put Christensen there, just so to have that extra protection. I think Christensen, might be more versed with players like him, like Saint. So it's perfect for him just to be behind James, just to marshal him, make sure. So James even feels more comfortable not to make a rush challenge because he knows Christensen is there to back him up. So again, defensively, not worried. It's just up front that's like, yeah.
You saying you're not worried, but the worry is written all over your face. You even sweating, Lionel. I'm concerned. I'm really concerned, but this is a strong enough squad to win, to beat Newcastle at Tyneside. But at the same time, I don't know if we've really refused the Charity FC tag. I hope that's the case. Coming to you, Helgi. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, great to be back here. Hopefully we'll have the result we want today without underestimating Newcastle at the slightest. But the lineup is, if I have, because I'm going into it myself and I just taking the initiative from the graphic. So it's a decent enough lineup at least if you look at it, and we have a lot of players who, at least in principle, have the capabilities of overcoming Newcastle. They have been a tough side, not only for us, but they are in general tough when they play at home. And in this way, there is no place to look down on them or whatever. But I think that the depth is good enough in terms of our defensive and midfield lines today, despite the fact that we missed Kovacic due to an unexpected injury, and also at the back maybe we don't have Azpi for tactical reasons, which you discussed it before, that it's Reece or Christensen behind to protect him on the right hand side. But anyhow, I feel that it's a good enough lineup to make us thrive today. In terms of the attack, I'm a bit surprised with Ziyech's inclusion, but it must be a Mount problem. I haven't heard anything yet from Tuchel, and even yesterday he didn't say that Mount would miss today's game. But of course, I wouldn't have expected Ziyech to start if everyone was fit. Anyhow, we have to believe in our players, and more or less is a lineup I expected, except, as I said, Ziyech starting. Very happy for Odoi to be back again in the starting 11 in his natural position, because he played against Southampton in that right wing back role, which isn't his strongest point. But today I expect from him that kind of acceleration skills and ability to link up in tight areas and show kind of vision that he provides when he is at his best, especially if we remember the goal against Malmo, he assisted Havertz. I need to see a lot of fluidity today, especially in attack, but also good chemistry between all the positions when we have the ball, but also compactness we are without it.
Yeah, question for you. But before we continue, I'd like the people in the chat to know that we will still do the giveaway as promised. Like I said in the last stream, that I am celebrating the birth of my son, who was born on the 14th of October, 10 days after my own birthday. So no matter how many people we have around, we still do the giveaway around 6:45. That's about 14 minutes from now. So if you want to bring some people in to join in, that's up to you. So now coming back to you, Helgi, what do you think? Do you have any information on why Mount isn't in the lineup? Not even on the bench, right? Am I right, Lionel?
Mount, no, not even on the bench.
Yeah. Any information on why?
It's unexpected.
No,
Maybe
searching.
Thomas Tuchel has had the sort of pre-match interview, but I haven't seen anything so far. So if people at the comment can help us, would do good. But as far as I'm concerned, it's an unexpected thing. It must be a sort of muscle fatigue or whatever, because if it had been any sort of in-game injury, we would have seen the signs against Southampton at last. But he's lasted all the 90 minutes plus had a penalty, so took a penalty. So it's not a sort of precautionary stuff that we could have discussed and Mount would have missed a day or somewhat. I think it must be a sort of problem in training, but hopefully it's not too serious.
Yeah, that is really surprising to me, because we heard nothing during the press conference. We didn't hear anything. It's just out of nowhere. We saw the lineup is not there. It's not even on the bench. Okay, the other issue is this for me, the absence of Ruben Loftus-Cheek. It's not like he's injured. It's not like he's played too many games. I think we did discuss the same topic the last time here. Why isn't he playing? Why is he on the bench? And most definitely Newcastle will defend deep and look to hit us on the break. So we don't even have Mateo Kovacic. Why leave out Ruben Loftus-Cheek? He's able to make a difference in the absence of Mateo Kovacic, because you could say they play the same way, but Kovacic differs slightly because he's not as physical as Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Why leave him on the bench and leave Kante and Jorginho, both of whom you could argue are defensively minded?
Well, I think if you could ask Tuchel this kind of question, I think the reply would be a similar one to before the Norwich game, that he will play in the last 30 minutes or so. So it's a matter of finding a balance between players you can rotate. I completely get your argument, and in a kind of game you need that sort of physicality in midfield, especially today that Kovacic misses the game. But I feel it's a rotation matter and nothing else. And if there is a team in the world now that has to prioritize rotation above everything else, of course, without decreasing the quality of the team, are us now, considering the hectic December fixture list we'll have, and the fact that we will go to play the Club World Cup, I think, after the New Year. So everything is taken into consideration to avoid the kind of long-term injury would have been very unfortunate to a player, Loftus-Cheek, who has had a very impressive rise, and even I didn't expect it, like coming after that cruciate knee ligament, coming back and then regaining his shape in a sudden manner. So I think Tuchel considers all of that. He has the contact with the medical staff and everything. So when the player has shown vulnerability issues before, why risk him from the start in consistent basis. And I love this treatment because he has been uh, play, been involved gradually, sometimes starting and sometimes coming off the bench. But as long as the will from the manager is there to include him, I don't see any problem, and he will get his minutes consistently. I'm sure about that.
We can't hear you. You're on mute.
Thank you very much. So, Haugi, if you're talking about rotation, if we're arguing about rotation here, I think if you ask me, I'd say we're doing it the wrong way by having Silva and Christensen on the pitch at the same time, which I told Lionel before you joined, that it's more like having all our eggs in the same basket. And if anything should happen to either of these two guys here, then we have a problem. So if you're saying it is rotation, then this is wrong. This is the wrong combo here. Trevor Chalobah can start comfortably on the right-hand side. He's proven that he's comfortable playing on the right center-back position, and he's done quite well every time he's played there. So why are we starting Thiago Silva and Trevor and Christensen in the same game? For us, we could just have Trevor Chalobah on the right-hand side, then Thiago Silva in the middle, or Christensen, and then be good. So, like I said, if anything happens to either of the two guys there, we have a problem. What do you think?
Well, even so, Chalobah played 90 minutes on Tuesday, so it would have been the risk of. So I'm following the same logic now and saying that if we played Chalobah from the start again, it will be the risk of him getting a sort of physical injury. So, basing on the last game, Silva and Christensen and Rudiger, so all the back line, including Mendy, if we want to be as precise, is like didn't have any minutes on Tuesday. So, basing on this logic, the rotation is good to have new players from the last game and not risking overloading a player who played for 90 minutes. And I don't know if the combo is right or wrong in terms of the positioning of the three men, because we have seen that Tuchel has this kind of inclination and a kind of like desire to shuffle and play the defenders in different positions, and a lot of times they have done quite well. So it's the manager who knows best in terms of this aspect. What would worry me, it would be a sort of persistent giving game time persistency to a player that hasn't been performing, and fortunately that's not the case, I think, with any of the players that we have now. While basing on the discussion we have, I don't see a problem when playing Christensen, Silva, Rudiger after they didn't play a minute in the last game. So it's not a problem for me, and it's an expected three. Okay, Chalo could have started, but there is a Malmo game, and I feel he will start there. So there is a law of natural compensation that the fixture list will bring to us, and the manager has the will. So if the manager didn't have the will in a hypothetical scenario, then yes, I would be worried. For example, that Chalo didn't start today, but as long as the manager has shown the will to shuffle the team and at the same time care for preserving the winning mentality and the chemistry between the positions and the defenders inside the back line, then I feel that there is no problem.
Great argument right there. Okay, I'm going to go back to the screen and ask a very we'll keep discussing that in terms of the midfield structure until something is done to change it. But before I get into it, all the people in the chat, just to remind you again, we will be doing the live draw for the giveaway, which is a Chelsea polo shirt. If you're in the UK or in the United States, if you're outside the United States, you get the cash equivalent of the price, which is around $50. So if you can please do me a favor, go to Twitter, talk about it, tell people to come join. We can wait to do the draw for the giveaway a little bit later. So please help me tell others to come join for the giveaway. Now, Lionel, coming back to this formation here, we've talked about this like 2 times now, or maybe the last time you were here for the pre-game show. We have 2 sitting midfielders here.
Yeah.
We have 2 sitting midfielders here, and we know one alone can suffice, which means we can leave Kante, whom, forget about the stereotype, he really does know how to protect the defense. Kante alone can suffice here, and Jorginho or maybe someone else who's very good at playing closer to the final third can be there. So if we play one man, a single 6, then we have one more player to join the attack. And
but I think it's the other way around. I think Jorginho is going to sit deep, and N'Golo Kante is going to go up front.
I understand your point, but my argument is, why not just play a single 6, and then get the opportunity to add one person to the attack?
Yeah, I think a lot of the times it depends. I think the double 6 is usually more. It's more seen when we're defending a lot. I think when we're attacking, like, it's not. I think that's a starting position, if you'd like to call it. But during the game, I don't think they really play that way. I think one of the 6, like if it's Jorginho or Kovacic. Kovacic is usually running around, where Jorginho is kind of the anchor to that midfield, and I think it's going to be the same with Kante. I think Kante is going to be a little more high up. I think Havertz is going to drop down a bit. So I think those 4 that we're seeing on the screen right now are actually that's kind of how it's going to be, how it's going to play out. And if you include Ben Chilwell and James in that attack, and you kind of just sit with Jorginho just on the halfway line and Rudiger, Silva, and Christensen in their position, I think that's mostly how we're going to play, and that's how we're going to nullify any sort of counter attack.
Yeah, okay, now I get your point. Yeah, Kante will probably be the one to move even further if we decide to play a single 6. Yeah. But my argument, Lionel, here is, why play a double 6, most especially against a team like Newcastle, whom we already know you could argue the only threat they pose against us is what's his name again, St. Maxima.
Yeah.
So even at that, why deploy 2 6s? I'll come back to you, Lionel. Helgi, why? We've talked about this like 3 times now. Why deploy 2 6s when one alone can suffice? And give us the opportunity to add one more person to the attack.
Well, I don't know if one person can suffice, because when you play with Jorginho, because I agree with Lionel that Jorginho.
Okay, I don't mean to cut you off, but let's look at this. When we play 3 at the back, some argue it's a defensive approach, which sometimes you could say that's the truth. Because when we're defending, this guy here drops here, and this guy here drops back to this position. Now we have 5 defenders.
Yeah.
You get my point now. So why do we now still need double 6s? That's my argument.
Yeah,
and we have so many attacking players who, if we play a single 6, we can add more person to the front. So over to you, Helgi.
So, but equally, if we say that we have 5 men in defense, when we don't have the ball, we equally have 5 men in attack when we have the ball. So there are 2 sides of the discussion. Like, if on one side we get overprotection, and on the other side we can have the opportunity to overload the opposition's defense. So I don't see an issue with the back 3, as long as we interpret it as an attacking system. So I have been here, like I say, even in the pre-match show, other pre-match shows, and I have said that it's not a matter of system in principle, but it's a matter of how you interpret it. And Tuchel has interpreted it in a way that helps us have the possession and have the dynamics of the game in our favor, as long as we have the attacking outlet and the possibility to control possession and to be dictating. So the fact that we defend in a 5, in my opinion, doesn't make us a defensive team, and the stats have proved that. It's not just an opinion. It's something based on facts. And regarding the double six discussion, I believe that as I said, I completely agree with Lionel when he said that Kante will go forward and Jorginho will be the deeper one, because even when we did that Kante player profile together, I said that I have never seen Kante as a defensive midfielder, but as a sort of eight who goes up and down and joins the attack, recovers the ball as high as up the pitch as possible. So when we judging also, but basing on the opposition we have today, they may try to play physically. They are at home, and it would be a sort of risk if we just put Jorginho in front of the defense, which weakest point, I think we can agree on that, is fighting for the first and second balls physically. And it would be tough to have only Jorginho against a team who will try to play long to San Maximao, Wilson, or whoever is playing up front there. So we need that kind of double cover in front of the defense, and Kante is exactly the player who can provide us the solidity on and off the ball alongside Jorginho. So I'm fine with the double six because of this reason. And it's exactly the kind of game that you need the double six, because we are playing a traditional English side. We will rely a lot on physicality, judging that we will have the positional territory when we create chances and have the ball. So I'm fine with double six.
And also, just to add on to this double six conversation, because so if we play with 1-1-6 in the center of the park, and we have those four attackers, once we lose the ball, for example, if we do lose the ball, that six is now he's alone in that center of the park and can be dominated by other players. I think the reason why there's two of them there is to create that relationship, that movement that needs to happen within the middle of the park. With just 1-6, you don't have those options. So if, for example, the opposition team sits two midfielders on Jorginho alone, he's not going to have any movement, and that kind of breaks the line from our defense to our attack. So the whether you think about it defensive wise or attacking, that double six is important because it relieves one of the players from being that sole target from the team. So if you have Ngolo Kante and you have Jorginho, or you have Kovacic and you have Jorginho, you have one player that can carry the ball like Ngolo will do, or like Kovacic does, and Jorginho sits and he is that valve, that release for for Kovacic or for Ngolo Kante if needs be. And when we defend, it's the same thing. So now you have two protecting the defenders. So if one doesn't, do the job properly, there's another one to cover. So I think it's always needed that double six. Yes, we do defend with 5 at some points, but a lot of the times, Ben Chilwell will be up front. Reece James maybe will be up front too. So that means that our wings are now open. Right? When we attack, we lose the ball. Chili's up there, and by the time he gets back, there's already, a chance on goal. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much for taking some time to explain how the double sixes operate for us. So we're going to go ahead and do the draw right now. I hope everybody here can see my screen. And if you'd like to participate in the draw, I'll give you 3 more minutes. All you have to type is # Chelsea perspective.
Oh, didn't do that.
Just type # Chelsea perspective. Make sure you spell it correctly, except for Steve. Steve, you're not to be part of this because you won the last one. So this is the correct one. So if you'd like to participate, you type # Chelsea perspective in the chart.
Boom, I'm winning.
All right. I heard Lionel say he's winning. I hope you win.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm waiting for all this. While we wait for all this, Helgi, looking at the lineup again, I mean, I was telling Lionel, Reece James, Cezar, it's looked like in most cases when players dribble past him, he usually commits foul. He resorts to committing fouls even inside the our 18-yard box. I think he's done that on occasions, but he got away with it twice. One, he wasn't that lucky. What do you think about Reece James? Do you think he'd be able to deal with St. Maxima today?
Well, we had a similar discussion when before the Norwich game, not only for Reece in particular, but also for Trevor, who was behind him, and we discussed this sort of whether he is experienced enough or has a capability of holding Timo Pukki. We said, I think, last week. So the logic, I think, is the same. He has the capabilities of handling not only Saint Maxima, but he has proved it even on bigger stage that he can be that physical presence and can provide us protection, especially in one-on-one situations when there are ground battles, but also when he fights for first and second balls. So he has proved that he's that guy that can be a physical influence for us, and I strongly believe that he can be a very good influence both in attack and defense. He boosts great energy levels.
Before you continue, Helgi, just Viola, if you can hear me, you have to type the # Chelsea Perspective. No capital letters, all small letters, and no spaces. It has to be as exactly as you can see it on the screen. I'll come back to you, Helgi, so that we'll round up and go watch the game. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Just Viola, if you're there, that's the correct way. Lionel, it looks like you have a capital C in yours.
No. Wait. No.
I'm waiting for you, Ankit. Type # Chelsea Perspective to participate in the giveaway.
Nice.
So we can round off and go watch the game. And sorry, Helgi, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No problem.
Oh, thank you for that information, Ankit. He's saying that finally confirmed on Chelsea TV that it is indeed illness for Mason Mount.
Yeah.
Thank you for that information. So Ankit, so I think we're ready. If anybody else wants to join, we are ready to go. Can we give it 2 minutes more and see if anybody what do you guys say? Or should I just click on it?
Yes, click. I want to win.
Okay. Okay. Okay, let's do it and see who wins.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on, 25%
Draw.
chance. Let's go. Yes. Oh no. Yes. Oh, no. Ankit scored the last minute goal.
Congratulations to you, Ankit. You won. So because of your location, you'll probably get the cash equivalent, and hopefully you have PayPal to make the process easy. The sooner, if you have PayPal, you can get it as soon as today. So Helgi, coming back to you just for a few minutes, just go straight to telling us what you expect of this game and what you think the scoreline would be.
As I said, I always said that I'm not good at predicting. Hopefully, it's a big margin win. That win against Norwich was an excellent one. Hopefully, we see something similar, which can be more than 2 or 3 goals up. So the kind of margin depends more on the clinicality, but I mean that we should create enough chances and be precise enough to dominate them and have a great game and show our potential by beating them in a comprehensive fashion. So that's what I can say about this, my expectations.
How about you, Lionel? Here's the thing. If you're in the panel and you're able to predict the score line correctly, I'll donate $50 to your favorite charity organizations. One organization, sorry. I do that all the time. So, Lionel, your turn so that we can go watch the game.
I think it's a Chelsea win. I think it's going to be tight. I think it's going to be maybe 1 or 2 goals, but I do see a Chelsea win. And I think it's probably the goals are going to come from our defenders, maybe off a corner or some sort of set piece. But yeah, 2-0 Chelsea.
What do you think? What do you think the score line will be?
2-0 Chelsea.
2-0 Chelsea. If you win
Okay, I'm going with
$50 to
2-0
your
as well.
favorite charity organization. Ankit is asking, I don't even know what it is. It is an authentic Chelsea polo shirt or the cash equivalent, which is around $50. And this guy is a lucky guy. He was planning on buying a new laptop for his production, so it just worked for him. So Ankit, congratulations again for winning our giveaway.
Should have won that.
For this one, and against the next giveaway will be in the game against Juventus. Good luck next time to every other person that participated in the chat but didn't get a chance to win. Let's go Blues, and thank you again to the panel. Lionel, always good to have you around. Helgi, always good to have you around. One love to you all. I appreciate you. You guys in the chat provide more value even than those guys in the panel. So I appreciate you all in equal measure. Thank you very much. See you guys next time. Cheers.
Peace. Awesome.